The fucking happening where the inflation rate drops every 4 years ain't in the white paper, bro. Does Satoshi eat shit and get yelled at for that? Bro. Does Satoshi eat shit and get yelled at for that? Bro. Does Satoshi eat shit and get yelled at for that? Bro. Every fucking business, bro, is designed to appreciate value, period. Every fucking business, bro, is designed to appreciate value, period. Hex has coin burning, motherfucker.
BTC and 32 ETH.
Welcome back, hard forkers, to 1 Bitcoin and 32 Ethereum, and to my co-hosts, Stefano and Mr. Gonzo. How are you, fellas?
Been better.
You've been better, really. It's actually been a pretty good week.
No, the market has been great. I bite myself on the mouth, so like I have an enormous thing inside, like I have problems talking, so yeah, it could be better.
There you go. Well, we're not a TA show. We'll be back to a bit of TA tomorrow, people, but just having a very quick look. We got a 1 hour chart here. Bitcoin finally broke up and gave us a higher high for the first time in a long time. So lots of positive thoughts out there, people. Here we are on the 4 hour. Let's have a quick look at how the market's moved in the last week. What do we got? Pretty much everything is up right now, although I actually closed my positions about 4 hours ago, guys. Made a nice little profit trading on BYBIT. I went into a 5x ETH long at 2,300, just closed it a few hours ago. If you are an experienced trader, by the way, please use our link to BYBIT below. I do stress for experienced traders. So that's been my sort of trade of the week. I'll be looking to re-enter, actually, if we pull back to where I'm expecting, which is going to be about 3,000 or 36,500 for Bitcoin, maybe 2-3. I'll re-enter Ethereum. I do think we're going to get a bit of a pullback. So I've gone onto my trading accounts currently in cash. And just very quickly, other things that I did do, I've been calling it on this show, the AMP token. I sold at 80, but rebought at 60, and it's bounced back up to 80. I've now staked that, and I'm going to stay in that position. It obviously got the listing on Coinbase Pro, which really did skyrocket it. And on that note, the other trade that I have made, I took a position in Polkadot, entered at $22. They list on Coinbase Pro tomorrow. They've also got their parachain auctions coming up in the not too distant future. So I've taken a little position in Polkadot for the first time in months and months and months. So that's what I've been doing, trading and investing wise, guys.
I'm still 7x on Polkadot.
Very good. So
what's going on there? USDC number 9 in the top 10. What a fucking bullshit thing that is. USDC Coinbase or something, right?
Yep.
What was the story there?
You're telling it.
I only heard a snippet. Like I literally just skimmed the headline, something about Coinbase going with USDC instead of Tether or something.
Oh, really? Okay. I've got to admit, I'm starting to get a little bit worried about Tether. Again, just while we're talking trading here, I suppose. I was looking at the long and short ratios. This one is just for Binance here, people. It's obviously when I'm using BYBIT and making these short-term trades, it's literally the first thing I'm looking at, the percentage of longs and shorts. Interestingly here, as I say, this is just on Binance, but we can see that the top trader accounts, let me just refresh this, may well have changed.
It's only 5 minutes.
What are they
Yeah, we're
doing?
doing analysis on the past 5 minutes over here. You know, we don't care about zooming
Absolutely.
out.
This is all happening right now. So yeah, we can see that. Well, actually, this is really okay. So long and short ratios. Yeah, we're the majority of the market is long. Literally 4 days ago, that was massively the market was massively short. And we've just basically seen a short squeeze. So hence my position there. I'm waiting for this to flip around before I'm going to enter again. So yeah, I'm primarily in cash at the moment. Mr. Gonzo, are you still trading at all? We introduced you on the show as the shitcoin slinger, but I get the feeling you've really sort of primarily moved into Axie land. We're going to have a bit of a chat with you about how we are invested in the market at the moment. Stefano's going to talk us through what him and Mark Cuban are doing with the yield farming and staking. But yeah, how are you primarily playing things these days? I mean, you used to be a fairly prolific trader and shitcoiner, but is sort of actually dominating your involvement in the crypto market these days? That'd be fair to say.
Without a doubt. I haven't made a trade in a long time.
Okay.
Month and a half, 2 months. Yeah, everything I have is still the same positions.
Probably why you're not yawning on these shows anymore. You actually look fresh these days and a lot happier.
Yeah. No, I still got my major dogs: Link, ETH, Bitcoin, Polkadot. Some of my like extreme long-term plays for stuff that I've held for a while. You know, with that whole huge dip, I was down. When everything went down 40%.
Do you swing trade those major holdings of yours, or are they essentially an investment?
I mean, I've got past the point of like, oh, I'm down 40%. Well, I'm still up like fucking 700%. So
yeah,
you know, like I'm not gonna stress out and watch, you know, every bit of fuckery that's happening in the market and try and play it. So I'm just happy with my positions on.
Yep. Do you use stop losses? So I mean, you know, for example, your Link holdings and so forth. Not at all. Okay.
No, not at all. Like I said, because I've gone so far above my initial investments that like the market would literally have to almost go to zero before I would be below my entry prices. So you know, like I could swing them, and you know, I took a bit of a hit there with that huge dump. What was it, a month ago? Because I had a couple cross margins going.
Yeah.
And I just let that go, and it like, okay, one more dip didn't seem like it was going to happen, and then I liquidated some of my position, which is not good. Lost a bit, but I'm still fine. I'm not worried about it so much, and I'm just worried about accumulating ETH, AXS, and SLP right now.
Yep. So. Okay, speaking of shitcoin trading, can you just quickly bring up our project board, and we'll just have a quick look. We haven't actually done this for a while, and we are going to get back to reviewing some projects for you people from next week. We've got a couple lined up, but here's a look at projects that we've reviewed over the last, what's it been now, guys? I think we're on episode 35 of this show. So if you could bring that up for us, Mr. Gonzo, let's have a look what they've all done.
One other comment, I've been making, you know, my 20% on my ETH and my stablecoin holdings in yield app. So that's still going strong.
We're gonna get to that in a moment. That's the next discussion we're gonna have. But if we could quickly have a look at the project board. So just a reminder, people, these are projects that we've had on the channel. We've spoken to the founders, etc. We've been sort of demonstrating the utility of these, how we've individually used and traded them. So yeah, Stefano, do you want to quickly give us a run through of the things of note for you?
You got two extremes here.
Huh?
We have two extremes here.
We do.
Yeah, that's the thing. You do get things that are like absolutely going to the moon, like Axie, like X. That's another one that has been like performing absolutely super well. I think that like down there's probably like some other, like Pirate Chain is another one that has been going like absolutely crazy. And then obviously we got the projects that are being completely wrecked and destroyed. Like, well, the ones that have failed, Pump, DMG, obviously. The ones that has been like super, super low and then had to adjust in some way. Ethanol has done the migration. Bonk has done the migration. Block Duelers has done the migration as well on the liquidity pool. So overall, like you do got like those projects that has been kind of like trying to find their path, I would say, or that has been like, still developing, but like not exactly in a perfect position, and or are still like, growing and figuring out what type of projects they want to be, which at the moment they're quite low. Cyberfi is the only one that I have no idea what's happening over there, to be honest. So I don't really know why it's so low.
Well,
But
I think the thing with
Yep.
Cyberfi is that we got the tokens pretty much almost at the top, pretty much the peak of that run that happened for the last 6 months, 8
Yep.
months. So we got it just before the correction. So it's a down, nice 69%, which is kind of hurting. No good.
Yeah, I mean, we've got those staked. We haven't flipped them, so hopefully that one bounces back. But yeah, I think the key thing here, for anyone sort of new to the space, we've got a couple in here. Hex, for example. I mean, if that community donated $1,000, we split that between the three of us and Jesse, who's on this channel. So it was $250 each, effectively. That's now turned into well, I think about $7,000, well, possibly even more actually, with the interest that I've made on it. Actually, it's worth about $8,500 now from $250 each. So that's been a nice win. Same with Pirate Chain. That was an even smaller amount that we divide amongst ourselves, but it's worth thousands. So look, it does happen in crypto. If you're, even a small bet on the right project can really pay dividends for you people, would be the message here. And clearly we've had some we had a rug pull obviously with PAMP. DMG fell flat on its face when the SEC came a knocking. So we've had a couple of failures all out in the open, but the point of this show is to really sort of demonstrate utility of these projects to you people. On that note, guys,
I don't know, guys, can we stick a trade in stick a fork in Unitrade?
Yeah.
What happened to Unitrade? Actually, that's true.
Just missed the boat, man. I mean,
What do you mean missed the boat?
Well, it's supposed to be like a sex on decks, right? With all the tools, and it seems like it never got adoption. And then the gas shit fucked them over, and then now they're just floundering. It looks like.
Yeah. So, Jordan, you started to talk about YFI a moment ago. We've obviously had Mark Cuban entering the fray again. He wrote this fantastic article. I will put it below. But look, it's really no different to what we've been talking about on this channel for a very long time now. So I just wanted to get you guys to maybe tell the audience about how you are allocating in the DeFi space specifically. As I say, I'll put a link to this article below. I encourage you all to read it. Looking here, this is the percent of Ethereum that's locked up in smart contracts. We can see that just growing exponentially here, where we're getting all sorts of headlines again, talking about Polygon. Certainly the flavor of the month. Here they are. These are the guys behind Polygon, project based out of India. A lot of talent in that country. I lived there for a few years. I do expect them to be a massive powerhouse moving forward once they can finally get some clarity around the regulation of the crypto space. But Stefano, do you want to quickly tell us what you are using in the DeFi space that you think the audience? I mean, I know you've done this a million times, but maybe anything new you've done, any additional thoughts on how you're playing it, and then Mr. Gonzo, if you could talk us through how you're using DeFi and where you think that space is. For me, I think it's about to go absolutely exponential, or it is going exponential at the moment. So what are your thoughts around DeFi, guys?
It has been going like that since ever. Like, this is once again like rediscovering boiling water, because it's like, come on, how many times like we've mentioned this?
You might have new viewers though, so you got to tell them.
Yeah, cool story. Go and watch the previous videos. Now the point is that so the cool part of Polygon is that so let's take like a little bit of history. We got DeFi summer last year, and that was when Ethereum started going like okay-ish to be used, to going like to levels where the gas price became like being very, very difficult already at that stage. And then we start having like the storyline of Ethereum is dead because the gas price is too high and blah, blah. And that's when like in the first half, Binance Smart Chain came along and all the fluffery around Binance Smart Chain came in place. We got the Relium BNB, we got like all the copycat that happened basically on Binance Smart Chain. While all of that was happening, I was saying that that's not the focus to have, but that Polygon would have been like the right focus to have. And now what we start seeing is that like the very cool part of Polygon is the fact that like they do not have the copycats. I mean, they do in some aspects, like QuickSwap, for example, is really like a copycat of Uniswap from that side. But what we start seeing like on Polygon is the fact that like projects that were on Ethereum, like for example, Aave, Sushi, Curve, like all of these projects has been deploying their version on Polygon as well. So now you get like the normal version, the Ethereum version, as well as like the Polygon version. Now, the cool part of this is that the train of DeFi that you used to do back in summer of last year on Ethereum is now possible on Polygon. A lot of people normally think about like, you know, I put like 10 ETH into Aave, I make like my 2.8% return, split in like a part in ETH and a part in Matic. And that is a cool thing. But the good part of Polygon right now with like the gas at this specific price, basically like inexistent on Polygon, is the fact that you can do that, take those tokens and deploy those tokens on other things every single time. And here's the thing, because the gas is so cheap, and DeFi farming change actually fairly quickly. You know, it's not that like you deploy something and you go back in 1 month and you see what's happening over there. If I'm lending or if I'm borrowing stablecoin from Aave, one day am I actually being paid to do that? And 24 hours after, I might have to pay them to actually like keep the same borrowing that I'm doing. So because the gas is so cheap, I can actually jump in and out of all of these models in a fairly quickly way. And so I can really, really optimize things in the best possible approach that I can have. And so I can, for example, deposit funds on Aave, and then I can use that as a collateral, and I can borrow funds still from Aave, and then I can take those funds that I just borrow and put them into Sushi, for example. And I can run a liquidity pool on Sushi as well, or I can put the same token that I got into Curve, for example, and get like an 8-9% return. One of the things that I mentioned many times that I love to do, because it's relating to gaming, is the train that I'm doing on DeFi with Avagotchi. And so I'm taking the Ghost token, I'm putting that into an LP into QuickSwap, which is a Ghost token plus a USDT or a USDC, so like a stable coin. I put that into QuickSwap. I'm taking the fees from the LP. I'm farming Quick's token because I am using QuickSwap. The Quick token that I'm getting for free, I'm then restaking that on a Quick/DQuick pool on QuickSwap as well. So that token that I'm getting for free is now generating an extra yield, which is like more Quick token on top of that. The token that I received from the LP, so the Ghost stable coin, I take that and I put that into Avagotchi. From that LP token is producing friend token, and I can use those friend token to gain NFTs, which are the lottery tickets. And then I can either decide to play with those lottery tickets, or I can sell them to the market because they are NFTs for Ghost token, and then redo the circle every single time. It's one single entry point that then becomes like multiply on all of these different things, and every single one of the entry points generate an income.
Yeah.
And
yeah, look, fantastic
Polygon.
point, Stefano. You know, the layer two, to my mind, if you're a retail investor in this space, this is for you. You know, I think the whales are still primarily using Ethereum. They're not so worried about the gas fees, etc., because of the amount of money they're using on that.
Plus the Ethereum gas fee now is being.
This is also very true. Yeah,
super low.
So I think the main thing, and
Stefano
said it a million times. Just don't be lazy here, people. Take the time. We've spent a year making how-to videos for you. I'll put some links below. Get in there and check out what's happening on Layer 2. If you haven't yet, put your money to work. Mr. Gonzo, tell us about what you're doing in DeFi. Any thoughts, recommendations, comments for the audience?
My major ones are Bancor. I got my BNT and my Link staking there, and it's gone quite well. I'm now past the cliff where I've got 100% fully protected. So, you know, I staked 1,000 BNT and 500 Link, and I've made back 337 BNT.
Nice.
So that's pretty good.
Okay. Well, Mark Cuban's just told the world that he's also in BNT yesterday, so expect that to go
very
up.
Nice.
Yeah.
I have another stack that I'm going to stake here now that it's finally, the gas is cheap. And then actually I still have some REN and some BNT staked in their old liquidity pool contract, and it was like so expensive to withdraw. I got to get back to that and actually take it out and restake it. And then I'm also using Yield app for just staking my ETH, and I'm getting 20% on that, which is super nice. Not YFI. You said it, I mentioned YFI. I mentioned Yield app,
right,
which is YLD. Okay. And then I've still got my Nexo going, still got my crypto.com going. They had this supercharger thing, and I supercharged my Crow to get some engine tokens. Right when everything went to shit, I started collecting some of those. I figure might as well. And what else have I got going with DeFi? Nuts, which is Squirrel, which is insured farming, which has been really good to me. I got that going last summer, and I've just kept that going and switching back and forth between Nuts and BNB LP when everything was quite high, and then it started taking. Then I switched back to Nuts. So I've like doubled my stack on that one. So that's been really good to me. That one's another one that the dev is really good, where, you know, he just really takes care of the community, and he's really approachable if you got any suggestions and help. Squirrel Finance. And other than that, you know, just the passive incomes. You know, I don't really check them, don't worry about them.
Yep.
Don't worry about it too much. So got it locked in. Should probably get
excellent.
Back in.
So we're gonna finish the show up just looking at what we're doing on the Axie front and play to earn in general in a moment, people. But I just sort of final comments on DeFi. You know, another important thing for me, if I look at my own behavior here, you know, I've gone in and provided liquidity on Layer 2. Not to rehash what Stefano's just said, but, you know, similar scenario. You know, I'm making great returns there. I've put those away. They're long-term holds for me. I'm generating a yield. You know, I'm in no danger of making bad trades. Yes, I am a trader. I trade with a percentage of my portfolio. As I've just told you, most of that's in cash right now, looking for another re-entry. I do think we're going higher. I think the market has, to a large degree, sort of brushed off the FUD. But, you know, where I'm going with this is I am concerned about my holdings that I have on centralized exchanges. You know, I'm having some issues with Binance. I'm not able to receive emails from them. There was never an issue with this. I haven't changed my email address, but I'm not getting notifications. I do also see that as pretty much my sort of my risk exposure. If anyone is going to get attacked by regulators here, it will be these centralized exchanges. I think that they will try and regulate DeFi, but I think that's going to be extremely difficult for them to take down. I think this market is maturing fast. I think we've lost faith in politicians to a large degree. I think a lot of the FUD that we've had rammed down our throats, everyone is just kind of over it now, and it's been great. It's helped people understand what we are all doing here, what being in control of your own value is all about. And DeFi for me is just going to get bigger and bigger. It is my new bank. It's where I'm borrowing, lending, etc. But, you know, here we go once again. Mr. Gonzo, talk us through what's going down in your part of the world.
So I don't know if you recall, about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, I went to a crypto conference here, and it was sponsored by BitCub, who is the largest crypto exchange here in Thailand. They're fully regulated. They're all on board with the government and stuff. And their big news at that conference was, hey, we're building an NFT marketplace. platform to buy and sell NFTs, right? You can obviously tell that there's no communication between the regulators and that guy's actually doing shit, because today, no, this was 3 days ago, the SEC bans trading gimmick tokens and NFTs in Thailand.
Which, they've included Doge in there as well.
Yeah, well, I mean, BitCub had been spending a lot of time developing this platform, and now completely kiboshed. So the wording is quite funny. They've banned digital asset exchanges from trading meme or fan-based tokens, non-fungible tokens, or exchange-issued tokens. So no Binance. BitCub just launched their own exchange token, banned also. Wow. So they're getting raped here. So-called Dogecoin, joke cryptocurrency, right? There was a platform coming out here in Thailand called Fan Token Marketplace. And this is, like the Asian celebrities and digital items, I don't know, dirty underwear and shit like that, whatever it is. But so this gone, completely banned. So, there's obviously no communication between the regulators and the companies developing all this stuff. They're obviously getting news from two different people. I mean, it's a bit strange. We've had a couple conversations about, regulation, how NFTs are going to be affected, how interest is going to be affected from DeFi, play to earn, right? What's going to happen there? Are play to earners going to get taxed on their playing, right? From different countries? How are they going to implement that if they do? So, as we go forward, there's more and more questions coming up about regulation. So, obviously this is not the American SEC, this is the Thai SEC, but this is just so standard typical of the Thai government. They flip-flop back and forth on every issue, COVID, politics, banning this, banning that. They just flip-flop back and forth. Like one day they're all cool, they're into crypto, the next day they're gone. There's a pretty big crypto community here, but I think it just doesn't seem like the government has any idea of what to do with it. Just because they flip-flop so badly, and it seems like, the Americans go a bit more to the regulation side, so they'll do the same thing. And they don't really seem to be making many of their own decisions. Yeah. So this is an interesting one, I think.
Yeah, well, look, I mean, it's a fast maturing space. I think at the end of the day, most governments, it's easy for us. I made the comment, well, people have lost faith in them, etc. But ultimately, they are here to do a job for us, and I think generally their approach to crypto has been pretty level-headed. It's very frustrating to see what's happening in Thailand there, obviously. But we've had Tunisia, which was one of the only countries in the world to actually to make Bitcoin illegal, looking at changing their stance. I think, the general public now is at a point where they're understanding the space. I think the ability of a regulator to stop a lot of what's going on, I just don't think people are going to care moving forward on many fronts if they attempt to bring in ridiculous regulation. My gut feeling is that won't happen, but as I say, very disappointing to see what's just happened in Thailand. But we've been saying it for weeks now while all this FUD was flying around. I think the three of us are as bullish as we've ever been. Would that be fair to say, guys?
Right now, I don't know. I'm feeling a lot of apathy.
Really?
Apathy. And yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just getting tired of the fuckery, like the overinflation and then the extreme, like bleeding outs, and then the over extreme, how many more years till we equalize a bit here so that it's not so quite extreme up and down, right? I mean, I'm fine with okay, make 25% a year. I don't need to make 100% every fucking week, I don't know. It just seems so extreme in the way that it's so volatile with every little bit of news, right?
I'm so bullish, and I'll tell you, look, in a nutshell, the reason I'm bullish, never in a million years did I expect the global economy to be in this sort of condition when I first got into crypto, and all those initial meetups and whatever that I went to back in 2016, they were all about big macroeconomic pictures. And here we are, everything that was being discussed, 5 years ago when I first got on the space has come to pass. This inflation that we've got does not look transitory. You've got Paul Tudor Jones turning around today, billionaire hedge fund manager. He's now saying, look, you're going to have a minimum of 5% in Bitcoin, based on what these macroeconomic headwinds that just look horrible. The other thing I love is, for me, I hate to say this, but when you go into economic turmoil, you so often get conflict, and we just look poised on the brink of freaking disaster here. You've got China threatening Australia at the moment. They made a statement the other day saying, Australia is going to be the first country attacked over this Taiwan issue if they go in there and support that. I mean, that is fighting talk, and that's terrifying to me. We've got Russian troops massed on the border. But what I see in the crypto space, and where I'm going with this, is one of the best ways to avoid any conflict is to have trade globally amongst people talking to each other. Look what we do on the daily. We're talking to people from every corner of the planet involved in what we do with Axie. Crypto is creating these pools of value around things that people want to do globally. We're creating global marketplaces with these token economies. That, to me, really offers the opportunity to fend off what could be a very nasty situation moving forward globally, as everyone seems to be rattling the saber at the moment, talking tough against each other. It's a worry for me. And what I'm seeing, what we're doing on the daily here, these are, this economic expansion globally, creating the ability for us to trade without friction, without overlords telling us exactly what we can and can't do. We're seeing this. This is amazing to me. This is important. So for that reason, I'm super, super bullish on the crypto space. There's no apathy from me at all.
I'm just tired of the minutia in the middle. Long term, I'm the same. Like, I haven't changed my stance. Nothing's changed it. Nothing will, I don't think. It's just the minutia in the middle. I'm tired of it,
Any comments on that, Stefano, before we sort of wrap up with a bit of Axie chat?
Still the same as per usual. I don't do trading, and I'm still not doing trading. I am accumulating what I'm accumulating, as I've always done that. My view on things are exactly the same. I still point the finger at the vast majority of the industry, because I think that everybody's just there for like their 10x or 100x and so on. I still say things that are upsetting people, and I don't care, because if it upsets you, well, then it's on you, not on me. So whatever. No, I mean, like, I'm exactly the same that I was like a year ago, 2 years ago, 3 years ago when I started and so on. I'm still saying that, like, the vast majority of the things that we're seeing now, it's 100% PR in one way or another. I would suggest everybody to just like tone down a little bit. It's like El Salvador is not going to change the world. The fact that we got like hedge funds mentioning like 5% into BTC, everybody's like, oh my God, this is it. This is it for what? You were doing that already before. You didn't need anything of this news to actually like realize that this is something that is important. The reason why you're so happy about this news is because you're making money. So you're a greedy person. That's the only truth. Take a look in the mirror, realize that. Apart from that, good. You're making your money. Be happy. Don't go around claiming that like BTC is revolutionary in the world and so on, because it was doing that before. Ethereum has been doing this like since ever. We've been talking about this for ages at this point. So what has changed? It's changed nothing. I was not following the news around these topics before. I'm not doing that now, because I'm doing what I'm doing every single day. I'm helping the space in a way that I believe is important to me.
Yep.
And I'm seeing the results based on like, the people that are texting us, the people that are sending the pictures on like what actually this industry, this entire ecosystem is doing for them. From there, like the politics, the governments, the stock market, the cryptos, the inflation, all of that stuff. Come on, guys, let's be honest on this. Are you really afraid that like the world is collapsing down because there is like a 10 or 15% inflation. The real world is in a position where like companies are not finding employees because nobody wants to go back to work. But then in the crypto, we're talking about like, oh my God, inflation. Oh, crypto is protecting us from inflation. Come on, get out of here. Let's be honest on things a little bit, please.
Okay. On that note, we did get some a very nice video from one of the community. So please keep those coming. And listen, all the people that did comment on the last video from Friday looking for scholarships. I'm breeding teams at the moment, people. There's more to come from me. I know both you guys have got over 100 teams out there now. So look, I will have more. So please, once again, comment below this video if you are looking for a team. I really take notice of who is asking and supporting what we do here. So keep that up. Great to see. Great to have videos from you people. You know, it really warms our hearts to see those. Yeah, any updates on the Axie and play to earn space from either of you guys before we wrap it up today?
I just want to mention one other thing, Sean, from before. You mentioned about the saber rattling and everybody being scared and the political drama that's going on, right? Continuing a theme that we had on this show from a month or two ago, right? The UFO in your screen there.
Oh, yeah.
Did you ever figure that out? Because we know what's happening now, actually.
It was a UFO.
Well, yeah, but there's a lot of like disclosure.
What do you mean, yeah? No, it wasn't a UFO.
No, dude.
Until we figure out what it was, Stefano, that's exactly what a UFO is, an unidentified flying object. It was a flying object, and we can't identify it. It's a freaking UFO, all right?
Touche. Okay, touche. Good one. Good one. You have a point.
So there's a lot of disclosure happening in the mainstream media in the US, right? Like they're releasing, you know, top secret videos of UFOs, right? What is this? We don't know what it is. And but apparently it's all counter-intel-pro. Like they're releasing UFO evidence, but the thing is it's not alien, is that it's man-made. This is the conspiracy, right? And the next big threat and the big fear will be that the aliens are scary, so they can step up the Space Force, put more weapons into space, you know, another reason to go colonize Mars. No, listen, this is true. This is the next conspiracy.
Okay.
So it's just recently there's been a lot of UFO stuff coming out in the news. So
yeah, totally.
And you know, but that's
on this channel too.
Yeah, if you look, I mean, the global control systems, right? It's always about fear, right? Fear this, fear that, fear COVID, right? People are getting tired of COVID. It's not as effective anymore. Like you look at the States, like there's people going out partying, having fun. There's no, like they're removing all the restrictions, right? So the next big false flag is that the aliens are coming and we're going to have to rally, right? So I just thought it was interesting that you were worried about the Russians and the Japanese.
We've got the
next level of worry is going to be.
Oh yeah, I know it is comical. So we actually have the report being presented to the US Senate. I believe it might be happening this week. Actually, it's going to be fascinating. UFOs. So Axies. Let's. As I've mentioned, I've got a number of teams I'm putting together at the moment. Congratulations to the people that got a couple of teams from me on Friday. I'm going to be doing some breeding with Mr. Gonzo when we wrap this video up. Some more to come. So any shout outs to community members? Any news on the Nine Chronicles update for us, Stefano?
Well, Nine Chronicles had a little bit of a tough few days, I would say, because they had like the marketplace that was closed down and the mining. So they've done like a patch on the mining on the POW and so on. And turned out that has destroyed the entire system. So everything was down yesterday. But it's okay. Now we're back on normal. Once again, it shows that like we're early, you know, they're experimenting with things and, you know, it happens. We're back on normal as that's the important part of that. The other thing is that like a lot of, well, not a lot, like as in the same amount as Axie, but quite a few of like our community members into the Discord server are actually like starting playing. They've been asking a lot of questions. Some of the players have passed level 100 as well, so there is like quite a nice activity that is happening. I think that the community will be quite powerful, let's put it like that, because there is one thing that now I'm in the community lead call, so this thing is not being communicated yet, but there is one feature that the team is working on which will be very important for groups of people or for communities, let's put it like that. And so seeing that like the HardForking community and like the players there are actually increasing in level will, for the future of our play to earn community, being extremely important, I would say. So yeah, all good.
Very good. Very good. And any Axie updates from you? Are you taking a bit of a breather on putting new teams out, or
I opened 30 eggs this morning.
Oh, okay. Right.
No, my things is going good. I'm just like being quiet, doing things in the same way. It's just that like you know my position. I like to do things in my own way, and so I'm not like shutting out things or anything like that. I'm keep selling things that are not perfect. So my breeding strategy is pretty straightforward. If it's a pure perfect Axie, 6 out of 6, 61 out of 61, perfect skill set and so on, then I keep it. If it's even a tiny little bit not perfect, then I sell it. I don't even care about that anymore, and so on. And that it's turning out to be good, because it's like one of the things that we've been saying many times, you know, dollar cost average when you go in, and the real skill is dollar cost average when you're going out. Selling what is having like a strategy in mind with Axie or in every single project in general. Like, you know, you're taking your SLP, fair enough, you're playing the game, you're generating your SLP. You're taking those SLPs and the 2AXS and you're generating new Axie. Okay, fair. The return of investment by doing this extra process is higher than selling and cashing out the SLP directly. If you're playing that smart, like you stop at like 1 or 2 or 3 breeding and so on. But at that point, you also need to be careful of not reinvesting 100% every single time. Like you need to psychologically tell yourself when are you going to start like taking profits as well. Because you need to make sure that like you're protecting yourself and you're exiting in a positive situation at the end of the day. So what I'm doing is that like if it's not 100% in a perfect Axie that I know that will retain value long term, then I'm just selling that and that's it. I'm taking the profits. So
And you're getting a lot of recessives just looking at your account right now.
Oh yeah. I got like
and a shout out to whoever bought Leanne's Axie. She put a 0 in front of the sale price by mistake, so somebody got it at a fraction of the actual cost. I don't think she'll make that mistake again, but congratulations to whoever bought it.
Yeah, it looks like you're getting at least 1 recessive per like every breed, okay, Stefano?
Every 3. So out of 3, I get like 2 right now, actually 2 recessive and 1 pure. So it's quite a lot, but the good thing is that like I have quite an army of pure ones, so I'm not really worried about that, to be honest.
Okay. So listen, I'm getting a lot of questions from people around DeFi and Axies. So look, we are here to help. It's the whole point of the show. So make sure you drop a comment below, jump into our Discord. Mr. Gonzo, any final comments from you before we wrap it up and get into some breeding?
I just want to say congratulations to Spaghetti Ronaldo, one of my first scholar, my apprentice. He placed quite well in the season this year, this last month. So he won some AXS, 12.5 AXS, which is super great. And he's got a large account, so he's cranking the SLP like crazy. Good job, buddy. And then he's brought on his family. Like, you know, he's got his brother playing, his stepmom. And so I just did a payment run, and, you know, pretty much it's the amount of money that they're cashing in SLP is like, it's really, really good for them. You know, it's like changing lives there. So I'm pretty excited about that. Tim, he also placed pretty well. Hubert did awesome. And who else placed quite well? There was about 4 or 5 scholars that placed quite high in this last season. So now we're starting to replicate the teams that they have and the meta and create more teams for premium scholars. So as the scholars get better, right, and they earn more with kind of a limited team, they get moved up and they get a better team so they can earn more and Also, I'm setting up some accounts where they can have 20 Axies on the account or 10 Axies, and that will give them more energy so they can play more, because right now you're limited by how many Axies. If you only have 3 Axies, you only get 20 energy, which is about, what is it, like 2 hours a day you can play without recharging. So if you bump it up, then they can play more and they can earn more. So it's going quite well. We're seeing progression inside the scholars, not just, onboard everybody and just let them tool away. So, Stefano's improving his teams, I'm improving my teams, and we're seeing the results. So
very good.
Yeah.
Excellent. Okay, as I say, people, please comment below, give this video a like and a share. I'm taking massive notice of who does come in and support the content here for where I'll be allocating my teams. Make sure you get along and check out Stefano's Twitch stream. Stefano, when is that happening?
Every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday from 10:30 p.m. Singaporean time till midnight and a half. It's all about play to earn. So if you're into those things, learning about really the play to earn economy, seeing the real games, like seeing how much time it takes to actually get something out of a specific game. Yeah, that's the place for it.
Link below. Go and check that out live, people. Give him some harassment, and he has lots of great giveaways on there as well. And Mr. Gonzo and Stefano will be back with me for our live show on Friday. We'll have a number of teams for you there, people, and some maybe some Nine Chronicles Gold. And we did say we'll be giving away some other project tokens as well. So make sure you're there with us live on Fridays, people. Thank you all for your support. I hope this content is helping you learn about the space. We're here to help. Been doing it for a long time, very committed to this. We want to grow crypto with you all. So listen, thanks for joining us today, guys, and thank you all for watching. We'll see you all very soon. Cheers now. Bye-bye.
1 BTC and 32 ETH.